Om Namah Shivaya. Episode 75, Chapter 13, verses 19 to 23. What is Purusa and Prakrti? Purusa and Prakrti are the two causes for everything in this creation. We know that Brahman, Atma, is the only truth, and that all-pervasive pure consciousness that pervades the entire creation is called Purusa. Purusa is the efficient cause, that which does not undergo any change. At the same time, the creation in its subtle and gross form is called Prakrti. Prakrti is the material cause for this creation, and all the changes in the creation happens only at the Prakrti level. Ishvara, by having Maya under his control, is Purusa, that creates, sustains, and dissolves the creation Prakrti. Verse 19, Sri Krishna says, first, may you know that both Prakrti and Purusa are indeed beginninglessness. Prakrtim Purusham cha eva vidhi anadi ubhav api. Brahman, Atma, being Purusa, is the only truth. It is beginninglessness. It is not bound by time. It existed before creation, it exists now, and will continue to exist even at the end of each cycle of creation, at the end of each kalpa. At the same time, Prakrti depends entirely upon Purusa for its existence. So it is also beginninglessness. It continues to exist whether the creation is in manifest or unmanifest form. Second, we must also know that the modification and indeed the qualities of the entire creation are born of Prakrti. Vikranta gunan evacha vidhi Prakrti sambhavan. It is Ishvara's Maya Shakti that has the inherent guna qualities, sattva, rajas, tamas. And Maya is the cause for the various modification at the Prakrti level to become the entire creation, consisting of movable and immovable objects. Our body, mind, senses, and our manifold expressions, like our eyes being able to perceive things, our ears able to hear, are all born of Prakrti. In verse 20, Sri Krishna elaborates what are the modification and qualities born of Prakrti. First, Prakrti is said to be the cause in the creation for our physical body and its instruments. Karya karana kartrutve hetur prakrti uchyate. Our body, mind, senses are made up of the 5 elements: ether, air, fire, water, and earth, which in its subtle form is our intellect, ego, mind, 5 senses of perception, 5 powers of action, etc. And in its gross form is our physical body. All this belongs to Prakrti. Even our inherent qualities expressed as pleasure, pain, delusion belongs to Prakrti. Second, Purusa is said to be the cause for we jivas being the experiencer of pleasure and pain. Purusa sukha dukkhanam bhokritve hetur uchyate. Purusa is the all-pervasive pure consciousness, because of which at the Prakrti level our body, mind, senses are able to experience pleasure and pain. When we do our duties to purify our mind and gain the knowledge of Brahman, we learn to identify ourselves at the Purusa level and be free from pleasure and pain. But in our ignorance, when we keep identifying ourselves at the Prakrti level, at our body, mind, sense level, then we do actions to fulfill our desires to enjoy pleasure and avoid pain. This will result in the accumulation of punyas and papas that keeps us going on this endless cycle of birth and death, samsara. Verse 21 explains that due to ignorance of taking our body, mind, senses, Prakrti as Atma, as Purusa, is the cause for our endless cycle of birth and death, samsara. First, because of Purusa that is obtained in Prakrti, we enjoy the attributes born of Prakrti. Purusha prakrtistahi bhongte prakrti gyan gunan. Because of Atma, Purusha's presence in Prakrti, we experience pleasure and pain, happiness and sadness, etc. at our body, mind, sense level, at the Prakrti level. In our ignorance, desiring to enjoy pleasure and avoid pain, we do actions to fulfill our desires, instead of doing our righteous duties to purify our minds. When our actions are righteous to fulfill a desire, we accumulate punyas. And when our actions are unrighteous to fulfill a desire, we accumulate papas. These accumulated punyas and papas in our previous lives are called sanchita karmas. And to reap the fruits of our sanchita karmas, we take birth after birth in different forms. Second, our attachment to enjoy the attributes of Prakrti is the cause for birth in higher and lower wombs. Karanam guna sangha asya sat asat yoni janmasu. We living beings are born of a mixture of punyas and papas. And if our punyas are more than our papas, we will be born in higher wombs. We can be born as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Sudra, where we are given the freedom to choose to work or not to work towards moksha. On the other hand, if our papas are more than our punyas, we will be born in lower wombs like animals, asuras, etc., where the cycle of birth and death seems to go on endlessly. Therefore, to end this endless cycle of birth and death, we human beings must do our righteous duties as an offering to the law of Dharma to purify our mind and qualify ourselves to contemplate that truly we are Atma, Purusa, and not this body, mind, senses, Prakrti. Verse 22 gives the glories of Purusa in order for us to contemplate upon our true self, the Atma. First, Purusa is the ultimate seer, Upadrashta. Ultimate seer means the one who is close to all activities without performing any action. Purusa is the innermost, that lights up everything at the Prakrti level. This enables us to be the knower, to use our intellect to contemplate upon what is to be known, to have the knowledge. Second, Purusa is also the permitter, Anumanta, the one who approves. No matter what changes our mind undergoes, Atma remains relaxed, happy and satisfied. If our mind is pleased, Atma lights up the pleased mind. If our mind is agitated, Atma lights up the agitated mind. Atma is not against any conditioning. It illumines like the sun. Third, Purusa is the sustainer, Bharata. Purusa is consciousness that gives existence not only to our body, mind, senses, but to the entire creation, Prakrti. Fourth, Purusa is said to be the one that finally enjoys everything, moksa. If our ego is the enjoyer, it is the Purusa that sustains the ego. Another meaning is Purusa is the devourer. When the entire creation gets dissolved, everything resolves back into Purusa. Therefore, Purusa is the final enjoyer, the devourer. Fifth, Purusa is also called the limitless Ishvara, Maheshwara, who is the creator, sustainer, dissolver, and enjoyer, in whose presence alone every activity at the Prakrti level takes place. In the Shruti, Purusa is also called the limitless self, Param Atma cha Yukta iti. By knowing Param Atma, we become Param Atma, the limitless self Purusa that is pervading our entire physical body. Dehe asmin api Purusa para. Purusa is Atma that dwells in this physical body in fullness, Purna. Verse 23 states, first, when we know Purusa in this manner, ya evam veti Purusa, we know that Purusa is Atma, the only truth in this entire creation. This knowledge removes our ignorance to identify ourselves at the Purusa level, at the Atma level, and not with our body, mind, senses at the Prakrti level. Second, we also know Prakrti along with its attributes. Prakrtim cha gunei saha. We know that Prakrti accounts for all the attributes of our body, mind, sense complex according to our past accumulated karmas. Now, by doing our duties for the purification of our mind and gaining the knowledge of Brahman will make us wise. This liberates us. We have gained moksha, and this destroys our sanchita karmas. Third, we continue living as we still have our prarabdha karma to complete. We continue doing our righteous duties in all ways. Sarvata vartamana api. If we are a king, we continue ruling the kingdom like King Janaka. If we are sadhus, we continue teaching. And if we are a family man, we continue living with our family and doing our duties. Our actions do not produce further punyas and papas, as we have no sense of doership or enjoyership. We identify ourselves at the Atma level, at the Purusa level. Fourth, when our prarabdha karmas gets fully exhausted, we drop our physical body, we die, and we are not born again. Nasa bhuya abhijayate. We are one with Param Atma. At verse 23, we shall take a break, and next, Shri Krishna speaks about Atma. So till then, Om Namah Shivaya.